So we're in Strength Factory again for push session. This is I think like the second rotation now, so I'm starting to have numbers to actually chase, beat and hit, which is quite nice, especially in this gym. I've been a few rotations through in this gym now, so we've got numbers to hit, we've got numbers to beat in the logbook, which is kind of when training gets the most enjoyable. And then me and Carl are going to be heading to Ultraflex as well for a decent few sessions, so we're going to have a few rotations here, a few rotations there. I'll always have logbook numbers to beat, so it's going to get pretty interesting now. We're starting with a slight incline dumbbell press. This gym, the dumbbells only go up to 60 in this gym, so I've maxed out my rep range with the max weight in here, so the only way now to go is kind of to go past the rep range. So I've got a set of 6 to 9 and a set of 12 to 15. On the 6 to 9, it's just going to be a case of how many reps can I do. I got 9 last week, so we'll just look to beat that this week. Well, 10 a little bit, but it's more than last week. Today, I've actually dropped the weight a bit and reset the movement, just because last time I did it, it wasn't feeling the best. I probably went in a bit too quick in terms of the weight that I was moving, so scaled it back a bit. I'm inside the rep range, which is 6 to 9. I think I got like 4 last time, which just, I'd rather just restart in terms of the weight, get my movement and my technique right, and then work my way into the rep range and progress from there. So it's a tough incline press as it is. It's not one that I'm used to, but baseline numbers set, and we can look to see this improve now. With this now, we're doing some cuffed lateral raises. So we can use a cuff and get it about halfway up the arm just to take any pressure away from your wrist and like any ability to use your wrist to pull it up. So we're just going to be solely using our side delt by taking that out of it and using the cuff. And then in terms of where I've got the cable placed, you'll notice I've got it like just around about my knee. And the reason for that is it then mimics where you would be with a dumbbell and the actual range of motion that you should be going through. If the cable was all the way to the floor, you're almost getting like dragged down towards the floor by the cable when you're doing your side raise. So you want it just so your hand can kind of sit quite comfortably there and you can raise it up to the side using the cuff. So that's why I always have this on a lateral raise a little bit higher, like sort of like the third or fourth notch, so it's closer to my knee. Moving to barbell floor press now. With this one, it goes at the end of the rest of my pressing, so essentially it doesn't take away from any of the bigger presses at the start. It's a completely new movement to me. I think I'm like 2 or 3 rotations in with this, so I've got my movement down, I've got my baseline numbers down. It's just a case of really trying to run it up now. I'm running this on one rotation and then a dumbbell floor press on the other rotation, so it's 2 movements that are completely new to me, but that kind of gives me the angle and the option to be able to really run at them and progress them. I find that movements that I've not done before, they take me a couple of weeks to really get confident, especially when I'm underneath the weight, like in a press. When the press is new, it takes a few weeks to get confident with the weight I'm moving, but once I've got that confidence and then I've got the new stimulus to run at from a progression point of view, it gets really, really fun. So I'm about at the point now where I'm pretty confident with this movement, so hopefully today we should see some decent numbers. See what we can do with this now. Go in. That's hard. It's so hard to be willing to go for the next rep on a movement like that. But I think those reps, the risk versus reward of those reps, those end reps in a movement like this, the potential to get injured, it's not worth it. That last rep there was as close to failure as I need to go on that movement to be able to stay injury free and keep training hard. So that's another one, incline, cuffed, clavicular fly. And what we're doing here with the cuffs is taking all the pressure away from your wrists, all the pressure away from your elbows, and all I'm focusing on doing is like driving and squeezing, kind of just crush my sternum basically, and get as much through my chest as I can. I was saying to Carl before, the reason I was wearing the elbow sleeves was just because I picked up some niggles in my elbows over the lockdown period, mainly just from training with a barbell so much, the pressure it has on your joints. So to now have access to these kind of movements, do a lot of things cuffed, a lot of things machine work, there's a lot less stress on your joints because they're so stable in comparison. And with the cuffs you can kind of do things like take your wrists and your elbows out of the equation. So defo, if you've been training with a barbell or dumbbells or that more intense joint heavy training, swapping in movements like this is not only going to be good from their new stimulus again, ability to run them up from a progression point of view, but we can also take a lot of pressure off the joints, stay injury free, and then the more injury free you stay, the longer you can train for. Again with that easy bar skull crush, using a cable rather than a straight bar just because we can keep tension on the triceps the whole way through, so controlling the negative portion of that can keep a lot of tension on, which is nice. And then we threw a rest pause on the end of that as well, just 1 point rest pause. With the rest pause, what I do is I'll take 10 to 15 big breaths after my working set's finished, and then I'll just go to failure. I don't aim for a rep number, nothing like that, I just go as close to failure as I can get. I log it, but if I've got to say less next week than this week, I'm not too fussed because I'm hitting failure, and it's the stimulus of failure after my working set that's the benefit. My working sets are still progressed across the board, and then the rest pauses, they act as additional volume, just taking more sets to failure. So with this rope push down, you see we're using 2 ropes. The reason for this is just the shorter ones. Once you're at the bottom, you kind of can't get a full enough range of motion. So these longer ones allow you to get the tricep into a fully short position. So the goal in any tricep movement really is to get the tricep fully short and fully long. And in this position, from up here where it's long, it's down here where it's short. Nice full range of motion in tricep, from fully short to fully long. So we know we're using it in its whole range of motion. That's a wrap for push. I think every single number got beat across the board today, so that's pretty good. I'll have this rotation, like I said, and then the ultra flex rotation as well. The main thing was just another good session. It's with getting back into training in the gyms and regular training now. It's about just accumulating those good sessions again, accumulating the momentum to start seeing progress, managing recovery, staying as injury free as we possibly can, and just pushing it from there. But yeah, it's another good one. Me and Carl have got a leg session coming up at Ultra Flex, which should be pretty good. That'll be a nice one to get back on the machines in there. But yeah, again, thank you for watching, guys. Any questions or anything like that, bang them below or stick them in the forum section, and we can have a chat about them. But yeah, we've got loads more content coming, so just make sure you keep your eyes peeled.